but it is a terrible replacement.
Welcome back to the Educators Inside, the platform where we analyze the complex challenge facing the modern teaching profession. I'm your host Isa Amira, and joining me today are Sharifah Nabila and Aifik Aiman. Welcome, both.
Thank you, Iza. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks, I'm looking forward to a very honest debate.
Today we are diving into our latest episode titled Digital Shadow Protecting the Teacher's Role in an AI World. We all know even the Ministry of Education highlighted this back in 2023 that AI is amazing for efficiency. However, we must address the shadows, the ethical concerns regarding students' over-reliance and the potential erosion of our professional judgment. I have read this piece by Selwyn, and he brings up a really scary point. The more we let machines handle the teaching, the more we risk losing the actual profession of being a teacher. So here is my starter question: should teachers in Malaysia rely on AI in classroom, or a or could AI harm student learning and teacher's role? Nabila, you have been analyzing the world of machine teacher lately.
Yes.
Is AI truly a threat to our profession, or is it our only hope against burnout?
So, Iza, to answer that, we have to look at the reality of a Malaysian teacher. If you talk to any teacher in Malaysia right now, whether they are in a busy school in KL or a small school in village, they will tell you the same thing. They are exhausted.
And it is specific kind of exhaustion, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It's not just from teaching. Nowadays, the responsibilities of a teacher have become incredibly heavy. It's no longer just about standing in front of whiteboard, it's about the invisible workload. We're talking about filling in this data into system, writing data reports, recording attendance every single day, and managing a mountain of documentation. This is a chronic issue. When a teacher is buried under a pile of paper, they lose the energy to actually focus on the human being in front of them. Yes, students. This directly reduces the quality of education because a tired teacher simply cannot give their best.
Which ultimately hit the quality of the education they receive.
Yes, precisely. Think about our primary and preschool teacher for a second. To keep young children engaged, they need to be like a creative directors. They have to create colorful slides, interactive quizzes, and creative activities for every single class. Each class is different, right?
Yes, I have
Yes.
seen those late night sessions. It's a
Yeah.
fast track to burnout.
It really is. I remember talking to a colleague last week. She's a preschool teacher. She told me she spent in about 4 hours on a Sunday just making digital flashcard and a quiz for 30-minute lesson. That is 4 hours away from her own family. Just for one lesson. When we talk about the invisible workload, this is what we mean. The data entry, the RPH, the reports that no one sees but everyone demands. And this is where AI offers a specific life-saving solution. As a tool that can simplify those mechanical routine tasks, imagine a world where assessment, paperwork, and record keeping don't take up your whole evening. By using AI, teachers can finally find the time to breathe, to do research, and to improve their own teaching skill. Recent study published by Saravanan and Kampuzaman, approximately 71.7% of teachers surveyed in urban Malaysia reported that AI driving tools have significantly streamlined their lesson preparation. Think about that number.
71.70%, that is staggering statistic.
I do agree also.
Exactly, and the impact is very practical. Even now, by utilizing generative AI, teachers are now drafting their RPH or we call it Rancangan Pengajaran Harian in seconds. They are generating custom quizzes that used to take an hour in just a few clicks, and they are even using AI to automate objective grading. It's not about teachers want to work less, it's about they want to teach more without being buried by the paperwork.
I totally agree, Nabila. And honestly, the time save is just the start. It open up is huge though for the actual quality of learning. Think about it. AI is turning traditional lesson into something way more interactive. We are talking about augmented reality and visual reality in the classroom. To illustrate this, instead of just reading about a solar system in the textbook, students can literally walk through the Milky Way by using VR. Then the AI will monitor their interaction. If it if it detects the student is curious about a specific planet, then it can then dynamically provide deeper information. It's no longer a passive experience that are actively exploring and simulating things in real time. There is also this research by Pakai and Hamza that say technology is great, but it's the teacher who, but it's the creative teacher who really brings the magic in the environment. But honestly, it's not just on the teacher. For this to really work, everyone from the school to the community needs to be all in. It's a team effort, you know. It also actually aligns with the OECD 2031 called Systemic Readiness. Basically, the entire ecosystem has to move in sync for it to succeed. And it's not just for children stuff either. I was looking into some work by Hamza and his colleague, and they found that interactive tools actually made scary subject like computer programming way more approachable. It's like it take the butt out of coding part. Then same goes for math. When teachers are actually trained well on these tools, they can turn a dry algebra into a super engaging problem solving workshop.
Wow, I'm glad you mentioned the teacher's role there because even with the best AI, if teachers isn't trained, the tool is useless.
Yeah. On top of that, AI and machine learning system are not able to pursue education. This system can adapt to students' characteristics, recommend suitable learning materials, and support collaborative learning activities.
Hmm. And if I can add to that, Iza, the real magic lies in that personalization. This system don't just give more work, they adapt to the student's personality and pace. Can you imagine a student who is shy in a big classroom, in a big Malaysian classroom of 40 kids or 45 students? The AI can recommend collaborative tasks that suits their character. It's like having a teaching assistant for every single task.
Right, a teaching assistant that never gets tired. But Afiq, I noticed you have been quite reflective. That's this idea of a perfectly personalized work. Are you as convinced as Nabila and I?
You're right, Izzah. I have been thinking of what Nabila has said, and Nabila, I agree with you. The idea of AI system for every student sounds like a dream.
It really does. And with the way technology is moving, we could make that a reality in our schools sooner than we think.
Yes, we could do that, but as a teacher, I start to feel worried when learning becomes too personalized using AI. We must be very careful. AI is useful for grading and giving us quick information, but using it too much can also create problem for teachers.
You mean we might get a bit lazy with our own skills?
Exactly, Izzah. If we rely too heavily on AI, we risk losing our professional skills. According to Nazia alias 2021 from UTM, one that without proper management, AI can actually weaken our professional roles. Think about it. If AI write the lesson plan and explain the concept, do we eventually lose our own ability to be creative in the classroom?
But shouldn't we evolve with the tools of it?
Yes, we should, but we shouldn't be replaced by them. My fear is about authority and confidence. When AI, um, when AI system take over tasks like feedback or assessment, the teacher might start to feel less needed in the classroom. We are the main guy in the learning process. If we let AI take over this role, we may lose our chance to develop our own teachers method.
That's important point, Afiq, but do you see any deeper risk here?
I would like to add another concern here, which is authority in learning. When AI gives answer confidently, students may slowly start trusting the system more than the teachers. Over time, this can weaken the teacher's role as a main guide of knowledge in the classroom. Teachers don't just give answer; they help students solve questions, evaluate and understand why an answer makes sense. AI predict information, but teachers provide context and judgment. This distinction is very important in education.
Yeah, so it's about maintaining that professional identity.
Precisely. In short, AI is brilliant support too, but it is a terrible replacement. We must remain central. If we lose our creativity and confidence, the student loses the most important thing in the classroom, which is a human mentor.
That is a powerful conclusion. I feel a human mentor is indeed something that algorithm can never replace. Because at the end of the day, students just don't need information. They need guidance, empathy, and someone who understands their emotions and grow. With that in mind, Nabila, would you like to add your own perspective on this?
Thank you, Iza. I'm totally agree. A human mentor plays a role that AI simply cannot replace, especially when it comes to understanding emotions and guiding students' growth. And that brings us to the student. I want to ask you both. Have you ever looked at a student and realized they just given up?
Yeah, it's a heavy feeling. You see, we don't realize they are drowning until the exam result come back. By then, it's often too late.
Precisely, but what if we could change that? This is where the digital shadow becomes a spotlight. Think about it. Every quiz, every homework, and it all leaves a trail of data. In Malaysia classroom of 40 students, it is physically impossible for one teacher to spot every tiny pattern in every student's homework. But AI thrives on pattern.
So the data tell the story before the student even asks for it.
Exactly. It's like a smoke detector from the for the classroom. It tells the teacher, hey, this student is struggling with this specific topic before the fire even starts. This allows the teacher to stop giving general advice and start giving targeted help. They can focus exactly on that what student needs. As a researcher, Nguyen noted in 2023, recognizing those early signs of confusion allows us to step in and remotivate them immediately.
This has the potential to reduce dropout rate. It ensures that students feel recognized and support throughout their entire journey.
Yes, that's the best part. Is it changed how the student feels. Instead of feeling defeated by a surprise failure, they feel empowered because they found out early enough to do something about it. That knowledge acts as a spark. It turns a scary situation into a clear path to success.
It's interesting, is it? Nabila, you have shown us how AI can save the teacher's well-being by acting as a creative director's assistant. But Afiq, you have shown us there's a red flag about the death of gravity if we outsource our professional judgment. This brings us to a deeper concern. We have talked a lot about the teachers, but what about the students? If the teacher are struggling to find the balance, then the students are the middle of it. But let's look at this from the students' perspective. We have seen them using AI chatbots like ChatGPT and DeepSeek for almost everything now, from homework to writing essays. I wanna ask Afiq, do you see a danger here?
The major concern is that the biggest issue is dependency. Students today can complex math problems and summarize them in a seconds, but the problem arises when they depend on technology, on AI for almost every task instead of trying to think and learn independently. If this continues, the students may get used to instant answer and slowly stop thinking deeply about their works.
Sorry to interrupt, but isn't that just efficiency of it, like using a calculator?
Not exactly, Nabila. A calculator still require you to know the formula. If students just copy an AI solution without attempting the question first, they may not practicing how to think and thinking and problem solving skills. Students learn better when they try first, make a mistake, and then improve from those mistakes.
Oh, so because some students say AI reduce stress, right?
True, but learning fast doesn't always mean learning better, Afiq.
I think another issue we need to consider is learning process itself. Struggle is actually part of learning. When students face difficulty, they develop problem solving skill and confidence. If AI removes that struggle too early, students may complete tasks faster, but they don't always understand the thinking behind them. That's why students should attempt tasks on their own first. AI should come in after the AI should come in AI should come in after the thinking process, not before it.
I see, and that's a problem during exams, right? Because during the exam, the AI is gone.
Precisely is that when the board is unavailable, the student feels confused and unable to solve similar questions. It directly drops the academic performance. But it's not just about the grade, it's about originality. Students who always depend on AI may find it difficult to share their own ideas.
In what way? Do you mean in their writing?
Yes, and also in their thinking. If they use AI generated content for every essay and presentations, they may stop practicing how to organize their own ideas. Creativity is an essential skill for future careers. Without enough practice, students can become passive learners who only depends on technology instead of trying to thinking for themselves. Over time, this can make them feel less. This can make them feel less confident when facing new challenge.
And let's not forget about accuracy. Have noticed AI likes to give outdated info.
That's right. If students believe everything from AI without checking book or asking teachers, they might learn wrong information, especially in subjects like history or science. This is exactly why Ministry of Education say that technology should support critical thinking, not replace independent learning process. So students must learn to check information carefully and not trust every answer immediately.
Oh, so we back to the idea of AI being a support tool rather than a replacement. It sounds like we need to teach them how to verify information first.
I think we have hit on something very important here. We have reached a consensus that AI shouldn't be a answer machine, but a critic tool. Then we are moving from passive learning to active thinking.
Precisely, it's about the empowering the student, not making them lazy.
and protecting the teacher role as a primary guide.
Exactly. So we have settled the discussion on workload and student thinking, but let's zoom out for a moment. The real challenge myself face now is not about whether AI should be in our school because it's already here. The true question is how do we govern it responsibly so it aligns with our national value? We need a framework that protects the very students we are trying to help.
So we all know that AI is a total game changer, right? It's incredibly helpful in almost every part of our lives. But as an educator, we have to draw a clear line. It is use AI to upgrade and not to create. Here's what I mean. We shouldn't let students just take whatever AI spit out. Instead, we should encourage them to get that first draft of themselves using their own thought and their own voice. Once we have that base, they can bring in AI. That is suggest better phrasing of a creative example, or polish their grammar. In fact, a 2025 study on the AI revolution in education highlight that these tools are instrumental for self-directed learning. According to the research, AI-driven chatbot delivers immediate, personalized feedback on grammar, spelling, and composition. This is the key, guys. So by doing this, students are identifying and addressing their weakness efficiently and while mastering essential digital literacy skill at the same time. That's how they actually learn new vocabulary and better sentence structure by being part of the process, not just by hitting copy and paste on a finished product. So we want our students to master the test, not become a slave to it. Do you agree?
I totally agree with that.
It's a very strong point, Abida.
On that note about mastering the tech, Nabila, I want to add something. I feel like AI literacy needs to come before everything else. We can expect them to use it as a tool if they don't understand the foundation first.
That's true, but what do you mean by foundation? It is just about knowing how to type a prompt.
It's more than that. It's about responsibility. If we are going to use these tools in class, the first thing we have to ask, what about privacy and data security? This is where Malaysia National AI Roadmap 2021 until 2035 come in. It gives us 7 core principles like fairness and accountability as we guide our students through the learning. We have to make sure we are not crossing any ethical lines or violating their privacy as a student. There is also a recent UNESCO survey show that less than 10% of schools actually have a formal guidance on this. We are basically surfing the internet without a life jacket, and it's time we start looking at how to stay safe. So a big takeaway here is that using AI ethically is a skill we must teach. It's about practicing data privacy and ensuring that integrity remains a top priority given how widely available those AI tools have become.
But are school actually ready for this?
Not quite. I'm saying we need AI literacy for both teacher and student. It's not just about protecting their data, it's about protecting their minds. Since the system can sometimes provide incorrect or biased information, it is crucial that students are trained to cross-check facts using multiple credible sources.
I couldn't agree more, Isa. The goal of AI education is to show that these two are here to help us think more effectively, not replace our own intelligence.
Exactly, Avi. It's all about academic integrity. According to Cotton, in 2023, we must ensure students don't use AI as a shortcut to bypass thinking. So instead just avoiding plagiarism, we need to teach them how to use AI as a support structure for their original work. And I actually think it's a positive move that the Ministry of Education announced that AI basics will be introduced into primary classroom in 2021, Ministry Federal Sidik mentioned that digital literacy will become one of the key competencies in the curriculum, which means students will be exposed to algorithm, data, and basic machine learning from a very young age. Personally, I think this is a proactive step. The world is already moving toward automation and digital transformation. If we wait too long, our students might fall behind. When students are digitally literate, they can apply computer thinking to solve problems creatively and effectively. It doesn't just prepare them for exams, it's prepare them for the workforce and helps me stay competitive in the global digital economy era. Ultimately, my point is that AI literacy must become a core part of education. It's not just about knowing how to use the tool, it's about having the critical mindset to question. If we build that critical mindset, no, our students will be ready to lead in AI driven work.
I couldn't agree more. Is that creative thinking you mentioned is what decided if students control AI or let AI control them.
It's about being the pilot, not the passenger, right?
Precisely, Nabila. And to make the reality in the classroom, I believe, we need a human first approach. Students should first attempt the questions and assignments independently before using AI to check the answer. This ensures them to continue to think critically, solve problems, and learn independently, which are essential skills for both school and future careers. When students try to answer on their own first, they learn from the mistake and become more confident. This helps them understand the lesson better and become more independent learners. As teacher, we must set clear rules for AI use. For example, AI can be used for research, extra practice, and revisions, but not to copy answer blindly. Muhammad Nawi 2020 said that clear rule helps students to understand that AI is support learning tools rather than replacing their own efforts. Clear rule also helps students be honest in their words and use AI in the right way, not as easy shortcut. We need to remind students that AI isn't always correct. It doesn't give the correct answer. It just suggests what most likely. So students must learn to check information using textbooks, trusted website, or asking teachers. Learning to check information carefully will help students avoid misunderstanding and develop stronger research skills. When students check the information, they learn to think more carefully and not believe everything they read online.
That is powerful point to end on, Afi. A poverty machine, not a true machine. It reminds us that no matter how advanced AI becomes, education is still centered on people. The teacher's guidance and the students' own effort will always play the most important role.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the whole point of using AI is to clear the paperwork is so we can look our student in the eye again. It's about using technology to be more human, not to turn us into the robots.
Exactly. We want them to graduate with more than just answer. Students should graduate not just knowing the answer, but knowing if those answers are actually make sense.
With that, we have reached the end of today's discussion. It's been quite a journey today, right, guys?
Yes.
We have covered everything from the invisible workload that's burning out our teachers to the digital shadow of students getting a bit too comfortable with ChatGPT. And of course, the big picture of where Malaysia is heading with the national AI roadmap. If there's one thing we all can agree on to take away from this conversation is that AI is a powerful aid but a poor substitute for human judgment. To keep our profession alive and well, we have got to stay curious, stay critical, and make sure our students are the ones driving the machine, not just riding alone as passengers. Big thanks to Nabila and Afi Aiman. Honestly, that don't feel like a debate. It feel like more like a therapy season for educators.
Thanks for having me, Isa.
Definitely. Glad we could get into the real talk.
And to everyone listening, thank you so much for sticking with us through another episode of the Educators Insight. The digital world is moving fast, but hey, as long as we do what's in the lead, we've got this. Take care of yourself. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Audio Jungle.